I'm Robin.
And I'm Julie.
We're two mamas who love inspiring healthy living.
After facing family health challenges and seeing how natural solutions transformed our lives, we are determined to help other mamas thrive, not just survive.
What if feeling awesome every day is possible for you and your family?
Come along with us on our natural journey.
Hi, I'm Robin.
And I'm Julie.
Welcome to our podcast,
Helping Mamas Thrive.
Yay! Today's topic is
Detoxing with Dr. Cooper.
Now, if you listen to us every week, aren't you amazed that we got that topic right at the first try?
It's truly a miracle. We didn't even write it down.
We didn't.
We're so squirrely.
We did it though.
That's hard. We did it.
Yay. So we have a special guest today. So at the Living Tree, which is the company that we own, we provide 3 services. We do quantum nutrition response testing, which is the muscle test. We do emotion code, and we do foot detoxes. And do you want to introduce our special guest?
Yes. I'm so excited because Doc Cooper is he's legendary in the Ionic Foot Detox world. And I actually called him on the phone and he answered the phone. And I was like,
she was like,
Dr. Cooper? And he's like, hi.
Yeah, she's like, guess what? I called and he answered the phone.
It's unbelievable. So I'm so excited and so thrilled that you have taken the time to be with us today, all the way from Utah. It is Dr. Cooper. So welcome.
Woo! Now, do you want to welcome
Thank
to
you
us?
very much.
Do you want to tell them what he did? Like he created the one we have?
Oh, yes. So
Okay.
he is the consulting physician for the Med and Health and Med. Health and Med. I always get it backwards. Foot Detox. And what's so funny, the Ionic Foot Detox that we got, you had asked for a recommendation from our friend. And she, I don't know how she found this one, but she has used it for a super long time. And I had my first one done like 12 years ago. And I was amazed at what came out in my foot detox. So we are so excited that you are actually the one that has 1,800. How many foot detoxes have you done?
I've done over 1,800 and over 300 on myself.
Awesome. Can we start with welcome, and can you just tell our listeners a little bit about you before we get into the foot detox?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say to the listeners, if any of you go to these 2 ladies, you will consider them as doctors, and I could say they're a paradox.
I love that. So punny.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm a retired chiropractor. I practiced for 42 years and loved it. And but however, during the last few years, I got into detoxing, and I did over 1,800 detoxes with my patients. And the company Health and Med that I work for, I'm their consulting physician and the only consulting physician in the world who is consulting for detoxing. And I've been taking a good 1,000 calls per year. I help people build their businesses, and people call me about their problems with children, personal problems of the thing I try to do with a lot of people, just keep them from getting into trouble. And I'm more than glad, and there's no charge for talking to me. And as we go along, I can give you my website and a couple other things. But I'm here today to help these ladies, to let you know that this really works. And I have treated a tremendous amount of people. And I've said everything from brown recluse spider bite to Lyme disease, and also people who are suffering from, for instance, the saffron gas from the Gulf War. I have people with that, then they're totally disabled. They used to be, and now they're getting around and doing so much better.
So how did you get involved? Like, how did you start with this?
Well, I had someone told me about, and they said, Dr. Cooper, have you heard about this detox? And that was quite a few years ago. And I said, no, I hadn't. So my wife was having some issues, and so I got a unit for her, and that unit, which it was Chinese, didn't work that good. So I found the company Health and Med, contact them, and so I have been with them since. And they're excellent company. But the thing is, the machine is made in the USA. It's not from China. And if since you ladies have a machine, you know how heavy it is. The
Mhm.
reason because we put in built-in transformers, so we have to have sufficient energy to pull the toxins from your body. And for anyone who's listening, let me state, detoxing cures absolutely nothing. It cannot cure, but what it does, it pulls the toxins out of your body, and then your body thus will heal itself.
Woo, we
that.
love that. Our bodies were meant to heal. We
Yes.
just, and that's what we are. We're translators. We're helping. We are just helping the bodies heal itself.
Right.
So can you help the listeners understand what is the ionic transaction that happens when they put their foot in the water?
Okay, let me make this as just as simple as possible, but I've got to give you an explanation. In 2003, two doctors, chemists, MDs from USA won the Nobel Prize on chemistry. And what they found out was in testing the human body that the cells in the body were clumping together. And as it was clumping together, the nutrients could not get in and the toxins could not get out. So what they found out is that if they use a negative ion, that as it passed through the cells, it opened the cells up, thus allowing the nutrients to get in, the toxins to get out. Now, what does detoxing do? There's no way water is going to get in your feet if your feet or hands are in that water. But what the machine does is that you have the machine, then you have an array, what it's called, that's what you put in the water. But what that array does with the water, and water is H2O, it's two hydrogen and two oxygen, two hydrogen, one oxygen, and it splits off one of the hydrogen. Now you have an HO, which is called a hydroxyl ion, and the other one is a hydrogen ion. What the machine does is puts a negative charge on that, just enough where it's pulled up to the 3,000 to 4,000 pores in your feet, and then it goes up through the pathway of the body through the circulatory system. And now, since it's negative, it all attaches to the positive. See, and those negative ions attach to the positive ion and pulls the toxins back down through the feet into the bowl.
So what is positive in our water that it would attach? I mean, in our body that it would attach to?
Okay, good idea. Good question. First of all, we're looking at all toxins within the body are primarily they're chemicals. And when we look at chemicals, what are we talking about? Anything, for instance, if you use a spray from underarm deodorant, or if you use a perfume, the body absorbs that. That's a toxin to the body. The federal government says we have over 20,000 chemicals in the environment that we breathe. If you get gas, you smell that from your automobile. If you, one of the biggest things that we get is pesticides. And if you will buy at the supermarket your fruit, vegetables, and believe it or not, they've been sprayed with pesticides. In Salt Lake City, quite a few years ago, they were wondering, is it really true? And they went to quite a few of the supermarkets and they checked them and found every one of the vegetables they used had pesticides in them. So now, how do we get rid of them? If they get within our bodies, they're going to affect the immune system. They're going to affect your hormones. They're going to affect you're going to get foggy brain. You're going to feel sluggish, no energy. You're going to feel muscle spasms. All these other problems associated with the chemicals that we get within our body, and they store up over a long period of time. Now, now your body is supposed to get rid of these naturally. How does it do? Through breathing, through your skin, through urination, defecation, and as it works this way. But what happens? The cells are sluggish, so they're not working their full potential. So when we start detoxing people from the feet or from the hands, what happens? We're pulling these toxins out, and then the body starts functioning once again. But everyone says, "Oh, I can do this in a couple of weeks." No, I've done over 300 detoxes, and by the way, I'm 82 years old. My health, I think, is fantastic. I feel, at 1 to 10, I probably feel 9.5. But I owe that to detoxing over a long period of time. And like, for instance, I had one lady, she said, Dr. Cooper, I have a massive headaches. I've had MRIs, I had CT scans. I can't get over it. What do I do? And I said, detox. She called me in 3 days. She did 2 detoxes and the headaches were totally gone. Had a guy call me from Ohio, was 28 years old, and he said, Dr. Cooper, I've got COVID-19, and he said, I just got my machine from you. What do I do? And I said, detox daily. Daily? I said, yes. I called him in 2 weeks, asked him how he's feeling, and he laughed. He said, Doc, I feel so much better. I can't believe it, but I feel even better, far better, even before I even detox, and I no longer have COVID. So there are things out there that are normal that can help you without having to go to drugs. And you want to know something? Probably 95, 90, or even higher people I talk to are not in favor of medical doctors. Now, I believe medical doctors only when I absolutely need them. But the thing is, I don't want drugs. I want to try to take those things that are natural for my body.
I
So,
agree,
yeah,
100%.
so
Is it?
that's how it affects the body.
I love it. Is it possible that I can put some pictures up? And I know for our listening audience, we might have to describe some of these things.
Yes, please do. And this, by the way, if any of your listening audience are interested, I can send them a free newsletter if they will just text me, and I'll mention this again later. It's 435-531-9418. Text me your email address, and I will send you newsletters and past ones. And these are just what comes out of it. Now, a lot of this stuff doesn't come from me. This is people who contact me and they ask me questions. The first one you're looking at, let's go to, if you could look the one we're just
Oh,
watching.
sorry, I'm not sure which one that was. Was that the last one? I don't know.
Okay, well, let's take this one. Okay, let's take this gentleman right here. Some of these I can't remember, but this gentleman right here been on heroin, heavy drugs in the past. This is what is coming out of him now after years. And so, and the first thing he began to say, oh, I feel so much better. I can't believe that what I'm feeling, the sluggishness in my body is going out. But look what's in this. Now, if you compare this, compared to this to the Chinese machines, they just don't have the power. And you're just going to get a little brown scum on the top. Not even scum, it's like a brown color. But look at what's happened here. You see what you see around that ankle there, that it's attaching to, well, that right there is what's coming out of the body, and that is in the center is what's floating to the top, and it's like a scum, it's gooey. That's what comes out of the intercellular area.
If you're listening to this, it's like brown, and on the modulator, or what is it called, the
array,
it looks like brown clumpy something. And then around it is different colors. It's really gross. It looks like a lake, like a really bad lake.
Yeah.
It looks like something.
Can I just tell you something, Dr. Cooper? So my first one that I got like 12 years ago or so, I really honestly believe that they were pumping stuff into my water, and it was a total scam. Like, I could not comprehend this came out of my body, because I was new in my health journey, and I was like, there's no way. And I'm looking for a way for how they could be pumping
oh my gosh
into my foot detox, because for those that cannot see this, I mean,
gross.
It makes you.
But I love the thing is like it's gross and exciting at the same time, because like it's coming out of your body, so you're like, oh yeah, like I love when yeast comes out. It's so disgusting and so exciting, like to see the white curdly stuff.
So, Doc, can you tell us, like, let me see if I can find one. Oh, I love that we can do dogs.
Little Scotty here. This lady, she's in New York. She called me. She said, my little dog is not feeding well. He just mopes around. What can I do? And I said, let's detox him. She said, detox him? I just said, certainly. And what I had her do, it's called a place called Temu. It's a Chinese place, or you can go on Amazon, but they'll have little harnesses that you can put around to put his feet through front and back, and with strings on top or straps, and you can hold him inside of the water. If he lays down, and believe me, he's going to have trouble getting the brown or the scum that comes out of him. But she said in 2 days, this is him.
Wow.
Right. So
That's
to our listeners, don't forget we support pets and
Yes.
people. And Julie has done the foot detox on her dog. He's
Yep.
on one of our programs. So he's had all 3 services.
Yep. His yeast is pretty much all gone, which is insane because never has he been without having massive yeast coming out of his ears. And he always had this awful smell. So it's just been amazing.
Yeah. I
You
wanted
were-
to look at the hands.
Oh, the
Can you
hands.
tell us about the hands?
Let's go back. Let's go back to the dog first of all.
Oh, okay.
And this is, you know, people are saying, "Oh, wait a minute, my dog needs drugs." Oh, for Pete's sakes, their body functions. The Lord made them just like us, but they've got heart, lungs, nervous system, everything. And when their smell is so much more superior than to ours, but when they smell things that are chemicals, it also goes into their system, so they're going to be affected. I got another lady, she's in Colorado. She's got a Schnauzer, and she showed me a picture of him, and he had scabs all over his little body, and he had pancreatitis. And the vet was treating them. They were very wealthy, but the vet drove a long distance to go from the town where her practice was up to where their home was up in the mountains. But she would come up and check on this dog once a week, and we detoxed him twice. And when the vet opened the door, the dog immediately jumped up off its mat and ran to meet the vet. She could not believe it was the same dog with only 2 detoxes. And I've got a German Shepherd bit by a rattlesnake.
Ooh.
And
Wow.
and he was on, of course, he was on antibiotics that the doctor and gave him some steroids and that. But the thing is that it was moping around for a couple of weeks, just didn't have any energy. So we detoxed him. And first of all, he was sitting up, put his feet in the bowl, and then all of a sudden he just laid down and put both his feet up in front of it. And the following day he was running around like nothing was wrong. But he said, the guy told him, you should have seen what came out of his body, compared to human. It was just terrible, brownish, gooey stuff.
So does the amount of time for a dog vary by the weight?
Yes, it does. Now, for this little dog right here, I suggested 15 minutes.
Right. And even for like my son who has autism, I was thinking I should start slowly, like only 15 minutes too.
How old is he?
He's 18.
18? No, we don't. On younger children, yes. That's why I have people contact me. If he's 18 years old, I would start him out at a half an hour. But what I would do is I would lower the voltage and the amperage, but we would still want that time. And see, with our machines, you can lower the voltage and the amperage. That's what's so nice about it.
I do want to talk about that. I know we're going to look at these pictures, but let's make sure we talk about the voltage because I have gotten questions what the difference is between this unit and the other popular brand.
Okay.
And we watched those videos from the scientist, and I want to make sure we do talk about that.
Okay.
But I want to talk about the hands because that's pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay.
Sure, the hands.
Okay, and notice first of all, if you if you see a lot of other videos, you're not going to get. You notice the scum that's on the hands, and notice on the inside of the plastic how it sticks. That's what's coming out of the body. When you get strictly shininess alone, then that means that the hands are not on the water. And the reason I say that, people say, wait a minute, this is a scam because I didn't put my hands in the water and it still turned brown. Well, yes, and it did turn brown because of the electrolyzing of the array, the chemicals that are in the water, anything, the salt, anything that was in the water, the minerals are going to do that. But once you add the hands, then notice that these bubbles, we call them hydrogen bubbles, but the scum and that sticks onto the hand, that's what's coming out of the body. And for instance, I got a lady that massive headaches. I don't know if I mentioned, but she MRI, CT scan, and she said, "What do I do?" I said, "I want you to detox, but with your hands." Why? Because the hands are closest to the head.
Mm.
And so therefore, and within, she said, I think 3 detox, she's didn't have a problem. And she'd already had massive headaches, was totally gone. What happened? I have no idea. Let me mention, I got another lady in Tempe, Arizona. And she told me, she said, Dr. Cooper, I'm 50 years old, gone through menopause, but she said, I had the gift at one time. I could memorize things. You give me any amount of numbers, I could add them up like a computer. It's a gift. She said, but when I went through menopause, I lost everything. I've never had it back. She said, but I got your detoxing machine. I detoxed at 8 o'clock that evening. That evening, all I did was dream about numbers. The next morning, my gift was back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Should I tell Dr. Cooper the story about my first foot detox?
Well, yeah. Sure.
So, Dr. Cooper, so I have polycystic ovary disease, and it had been like 4 or 5 months since I got my period, and my first foot detox, right afterward, I got this headache, and I got my period the next day, and I was like, oh, that's just a coincidence. So then, like another 4 or 5 months go by, and get the foot detox, and I got my period that night, and I was like, oh my god, that's not a coincidence, this is not a coincidence. And I started researching it, and it really transformed me, because I was like, oh, there's something in my body that's not working. And that's when I changed my diet and really worked on my hormones, and I'm completely regular now. I'm 52 and I have like regular periods now, but it was all because of the foot detox
Yeah.
that it started
That's
that.
right.
Have you ever heard stories like that?
I have. And the thing is one thing I tell people, and those who are listening, I tell you, detox cures absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. But what it does do is you pull out the toxins out of your body, and then the body heals itself. That's what we're looking at. The body, through its innate ability, is going to heal itself. Like I had a guy come to me and he said, Dr. Cooper, he worked for KSUB radio in Cedar City, Utah. And he said, Doc, he said, I need to do a detox. And they did the detox, and a half an hour he came out and said, I don't know what occurred. He said, I can't explain. He said, but this morning when I was doing the news and the sports, he said, I couldn't even think. I hardly got through it. So I came down here to get a detox. And Doc, my memory's back just as clear as ever. What happened? I said, I don't know. All I know is that the body's innate ability is going to take out those things that are creating the problem. Once it does, that individual is going to heal. Now, if some of you think it's going to be over without it a couple of, no, we feel we've got at least 4 to 5 pounds or more of these toxins in the body. Depends upon our
Oh my
weight.
gosh, 4 to 5 pounds?
Or more. It depends upon our weight, etc. And it's all intercellular.
That's
So
true.
and as you pull these out, you're going to start seeing changes. Like a lady said, I don't know that, but I was so sluggish. Now I got energy galore. I got a daughter, and her husband calls her the energy bunny, because when she does a detox, she's got energy galore. It just gives her, and I've got other people who said, man, I did a detox, and I want to go to sleep. Well, when you sleep, what do? You heal.
Right.
So that's what happens.
That's great. I would tell
love
that
that.
people all the time, for the emotion code, especially people want to heal, snap, or they start yawning during the process. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, your body wants to heal.
That's
Okay, so when do you recommend to people doing hand versus foot? Because until today, I've never heard the hand part.
Okay, and usually depends upon that's why I need to be consulted with a lot of these, and I can make suggestions. But for instance, if the individual have lower abdominal pains or chest pains or anything, what I usually suggest alternate feet, hands, feet, hands. But whatever is closest, if the individual's got swelling in the ankles, we're not going to do the hands. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do the feet. Or I got a lady had sores all over her arms, and she was going to her, I don't know, her high school reunion. She didn't want to go, but she detoxed, and within 3 days, they're totally gone. And the lady for the massive headaches, we detoxed her hands, not her feet.
Right. And so when you say after 3 days, are they detoxing once a day?
Oh, I had her do 3 days straight.
Mhm.
for once a day for 3 days straight.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you, please do not. Let me tell you about a lady called me and she said, Dr. Cooper, I am dying. I've used your machine and I am just dying. It made me so sick. So I don't get excited because I know there's got to be a cause and effect. So I said, okay, tell me about it. Well, she said, I went ahead and I detoxed in the morning. And then I detoxed in the afternoon. And then that evening, I did a detox with my sauna. See what I mean? She overpowered her system is what she did.
Oh
And so
yeah.
I said, take 4 days off and go ahead, then do on your fifth day, detox again, give me a call. And she said, I feel great.
That's good. That's a really important point for our listeners because I
Mhm.
did that too with light therapy. When
Oh,
Julie and I were in Utah, I did this light therapy and it was way too intense for me. It stirred up all my parasites. I had like a low grade fever.
Mhm.
I was flush, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like weird, didn't
Mhm.
I? And then I took like extra supplements and blah blah. And by the morning I was fine. But it was crazy because Julie was relaxed after the light
Yeah.
therapy. And I was like,
Yep.
Okay. Well, let me explain to you what happened because I've got my grandson right now. His wife to be is from Wales and she's visiting now. But we did a detox on her, and all of a sudden she got nauseated, didn't vomit, but she was so dizzy, and she had diarrhea, just couldn't hardly keep her eyes open. The body was cleansing. See what
yeah,
happened is it stirred up the nervous system and the lymphatic system, and now the body's getting rid of that. I don't see that very often, but see, she was very heavily toxic.
yeah.
Mm.
No, actually, I've learned this so much just being in business. For
Mhm.
emotion code, I've had people physically get ill, like they've had diarrhea or
Mhm.
various gastric issues, the
Mhm.
napping. And again, it's just like what you were saying. They just like it just stirred it up and it got it out.
Mhm.
It was so cool. I mean, cool for
Right.
And it takes time for that to get out of your body also because if you're accumulating all these things in your body, it's going to take time to get it outside you because the billions and billions of negative ions are going through the body attaching to, you get trillions of cells. So it's
Right.
trying to pull them back. On this picture right here, this is infection. Do you notice the whiteness?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that was pure white. And now, and for what I do know that I see, this is a yeast infection.
Yeah.
Okay.
And almost all women, primarily who have a yeast infection, it looks like snow in the beginning. And then you look at it as it starts to change and goes into different colors.
Yeah.
Wow. Ugh.
Oh my gosh. Ew, that is so gross.
Okay, this is, by the way, this is three people. You got three people here of the same family. They're all different, but this lady was having tremendous amount of problems of sluggishness, didn't feel good, no energy, nauseated, and this is what came out of her, and that is just putrefaction. That's terrible.
Disgusting. So if somebody has an allergic reaction to something, um, let's say they did a traditional medical intervention and they have an allergic reaction, would this help them?
I usually state that it will because you see, whatever caused the reaction, we need to get it out.
Right.
Mhm.
See, there has to be cause and effect in the body, and people mainly say, "I'm going to take a drug, and that'll make you feel better." No, and like I tell people, by the way, penicillin cures absolutely nothing. They'll say, oh, "What do you mean, doctor? It's the most famous." No, all penicillin does is when in the body, it slows down the bacteria that where the infection then allows the body what we call phagocytosis. It allows that to get in there and eat and actually dissolve and break down the bacteria. And so, but it has to be slowed down. Once it's slowed down, then the body system can handle. But before that, if you got a huge amount of infection going on in the body, got to slow it down, give the body a chance to recover.
Yeah.
Love that.
This
So,
lady, go
okay.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask you to comment on this one.
Okay, on this lady, I can honestly say I don't remember. Wait a minute. Yes, I do. Okay, take a look at the dog over there for dog feet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is Scotty's. This is his man.
Oh yeah.
And she was also doing, she said, if that's in the dog, I want to see what's in me. And this is what came out of her.
That's great.
So the extra bubbles, like
That's
the
what
big,
those are hydrogen bubbles.
and what is coming out of her? That's that bubbly.
Okay. And okay, here's the thing. Um, a lot of people in the past said, well, this means this means that, this color. What we're finding out is that colors, some certain colors can mean it, but it's more what is being pulled out of the body, not the organ, but what's being pulled out of the body that creates that.
Gotcha. Okay. So
So are you saying that we should focus? That's so disgusting. Are you saying that we should focus on, because a lot of people do want us to interpret the water?
yes. Mm-hmm.
So are you saying that we should not do that necessarily?
Well, people seem to kind of feel that I need to know what's wrong with me. But
Yeah.
in this case right here, let's take a look. This individual's been on heroin, Oxycontin, different street drugs for a long period of time. And look what's being pulled out of him. What it's from, I don't know, but I do know the drugs that was intercellular, those toxins are being pulled out.
I've heard that about smoking too. So like even if somebody stopped smoking like 20 years ago, they still can have full detoxes because it's still in their body.
But not only that, what we do find out is that what occurs is that the smell of smoke comes out in the water. I get that all the time. People say, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe, Doc, with the smell." Usually, this smells terrible anyway.
Right.
But what occurs is if you on smokers, it's still in the lungs. It's still in the intercellular. Once you start pulling this out, you're going to find out that there'll be a smell with this.
So I have a question. So like, you know how our organs regenerate? How does that work with the toxins that are staying in there? Does it just get stuck in there?
Well, you know what? I can say I don't know. I don't know, but I know that the cells will regenerate, and if they're regenerating, perhaps I don't know if the old ones are doing away, but they're being cannibalized by the body. You know, I don't know. So, but I do know that the research was doing. One of the doctors stated that we have over 5 pounds of this intercellular in our bodies.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this right here. Oh, that is just and I can't say I don't know or remember what on this patient, this individual had, but again, look at around the plastic. Look around the plastic. See how that sticks on there? All
Yeah.
that goo, and those are tremendous hydrogen bubbles. A lot's being pulled out of that body. I got other people that show me, and they come in, but they said, I got this machine and I got it from China, and there's no comparison because they don't have the power to pull the toxins. There's just light brownness. In many instances, they feel better. But when you start working with the tremendous 20 volts, you're looking at close to 100 watts. And
Wow.
so you start doing that. See, that's a lot of power. And by the way, these machines cannot hurt you. You can't be electrocuted. Our safety standards are from the government. We are control. We keep up with all of those things as a means of protection for the people.
Can you explain the voltage and wattage, please?
Okay, you first of all, on our machines, for what we've done, we've checked out machines from other businesses, and I haven't found them over 13 volts. And the thing is that ours are 20 to 22. Okay, now what happens is you have to pull the voltage into the amperage, which pulls out the toxins from the body, and you just can't put volts into the body. Now you go to amperage at a less amount of amperage, but you can control that amperage. The amperage is what's pulled in combination with the voltage. But the thing is you got to be able to control the amperage, and you control the amperage by the salt. You can't believe the amount of people I get calls all Canada. I get calls from different places, and they say, Dr. Cooper, my unit's not working, and many times they said they're not operating it properly. And there is a knob on the back of our machines. You can control the voltage and the amperage. So when we get to little children, you don't want to give them the full voltage. You can't control under the machines. But if we're going to do little children, I always like to know what's wrong with them. But what I will do, instead of 20 volts, I'll pull them maybe down to 15. And then on amperage, instead of a 2.2, 2.3, I'll pull them maybe down to 1.4.
And what does
See,
that do?
no, what that is, just keep this. So we're looking at the amount of pull, like if you go 22 volts and you do 2.3 or 2.4 amps, that's for an adult.
Okay.
See, that's a lot of pull. So we don't want that much pull for a child.
Mhm.
And so what you want to do is you want to take less because of the weight of the individual. And many times they ask about their child. I always want to know what's wrong with them.
Right.
Mhm.
So just for people who are not familiar, I just want to break it down a little bit.
Mhm.
So the voltage and the amperage that's what helps pull the toxins out of the person's
Yes.
body.
You see, and when we look at the amperage, what the amperage does is that's where the array is in the water. That is splitting the molecule H2O, and that's put in a negative charge on the hydrogen, and it's pulled up through the circulatory system through the feet, and whatever's negative attached to whatever's positive. What's positive? All acids,
Mhm.
all metals. And people just don't realize. And I got people, they've been tested for very high metals. I got a guy that worked at an aluminum factory, very high. Well, so we started testing him and started detoxing him, and he did very well.
That's
Cool.
amazing.
That's really neat.
I got one gentleman that was in the Gulf War, and I believe it's sarin gas, I believe. But he got that over there, and he's totally disabled on Oxycontin. That's a heroin derivative. And what occurred is he could not walk up the stairs. He had to have a special chair that took him up chairs. And I had him detox daily for 2 months. And I don't know if I got any pictures, but I got plenty of pictures. But you ought to see, it was the reddest with the black eye that I have ever seen. But that's due to what was in his body. Due to what? Due to the toxins, due to the I believe from the Oxycontin.
Wow.
Mhm.
Tell us about the kids with autism and ADHD. We've read it in our booklet, some of those data points, but I'd love for you to share with our listeners.
Well, the company also has a lot of information on that. But on children who are autistic, if you go to my website, you see a 6-year-old little boy. He's all dressed up in blue, a blue cape. He's got a blue computer, blue chair. And that's what the mother had to do in order to keep him busy for detoxing. He put his feet in the water, and we didn't keep it high. We kept it, like I'm talking about, lowering the amperage and the voltage. And he would love to play in the computer, and he was the Superman. But she said he did well. I got another friend of mine that, the matter of fact, the owner of the company told me, he said he worked with the autistic boy, detoxing him. He never wanted anything to do with anyone. And all of a sudden, for a period of time, he started being huggy, wanted to play baseball. Will you play catch with me? And this is the changes that we see among the autistic children.
Oh, right.
No.
The heavy metal.
Yeah.
A lot of heavy metals in the brain.
I have a question since you brought up a computer. When people come in here, a lot of times they have their smartphones or smartwatches or anything. Is there any contraindication for that, using an electronic device while they have their feet in the bath?
No, I really don't know. But to me, whenever I did the detox, they were there for the detox. They weren't there to chat with anybody. They were there to cleanse their body. I wanted their minds clear. And I also always gave them something so I could educate them on what detoxing was, so we could talk about maybe foods that they could eat or things that they need to do. Another thing I encourage people to do, and that is take their cell phone, get a picture of that, and show people just how rotten they are.
Yes, I love to do that.
Yes, the pictures are really amazing to capture those. And so we'll put in the notes how they can get your newsletter to see all these fabulous pictures that you
What is your
include.
website?
My website is is Your Ionic Detox, YOURIONIC Detox, DETOX.com. That's my website. If any of you are interested in setting up a business, wanting to set up a detoxing business, contact me and I'll be more than glad to help you. But also, I have 5 booklets that I've written on how to set up. It's called Additional Income and Take the Test. Everyone who has a detox should take the test. It's 36 questions that I've put together, and it will tell you exactly. Ask you questions like, do you live near a freeway, or do you work in a toxic area, or do you use aluminum chlorohydrate as far as your underarm deodorant? All those things like that. Those are things that are toxic. And also, I got another booklet, and it's on the dangers of toxins, what they do, how they affect the body. And another one I have is on autism. But it's all information there to help people start their own business, and there's no charge for it. If anybody wants a business and they buy a machine through my website, I will. It's about $150 value. I'll send it to you free. That's what I've done. And for all of you people who would like to have a newsletter, there's no charge for it. My phone number is 435 531 9418. Text me and give me your email address and I will send it to you, no charge. But you ought to see what I get. And the information primarily that I get is from my clients. And I probably do 1,000 calls plus per year on this when I talk to people about how do I start my business? How do I get this going? And I've got people now that are doing 40 detoxes a week, 60 detoxes a week. And they've had to hire people, and they're just marvelous because people are hunting, how can I feel better without having to take drugs? Is there
Right.
anything out there that will help?
Well, the easy way.
There is.
And also, if you're local, we have 2 machines. You can come
Mhm.
with a friend or family member and come foot detox or hand detox at our place in Oviedo.
That's right. And we also do pets. We typically we can do them here, so we've done them here at the office, but we can always we're mobile. We can bring the foot detox to you because some pets don't. It's stressful to travel, but
Yeah.
we definitely are huge proponents of getting the toxins out of our life. We do so much education and work to encourage people to take an inventory. We love to talk about doing a home audit because I don't think people even understand how many toxins they're actually putting on their body or being surrounded by. So we feel like this is such a powerful and amazing way to detox. And we are so blessed by you, Doc. And we appreciate your time and education and care. We really do.
Yes.
Thank you. I think if we can do this again, what I would like, we got to find a way for your people to either call in or send you questions ahead of time that I can answer.
Yeah.
Because if it's about your machine or anything, and I don't know about other machines, but I know how our machines work.
And I know we're wrapping up, but we
Yeah.
didn't talk about the work needed once you do the foot detox. So,
Oh, yeah.
what
Let's
do you
talk about
usually
that.
recommend to people to remineralize once they do the foot detox?
To mineralize, they can take minerals if they want to, because a lot of times if you're detoxing, you got to replace it with something good. But again, where I come in is say, if you come to me and you say, I've got this and this, I'll ask you a bunch of questions and I'll say, okay, I want you to detox 3 days straight. Then I want you to do 3 times a week for at least a month, 2 months. On my website of yourionicdetox.com, I have pictures or I have stories. I had one guy that had about the size of a silver dollar on the bottom of his foot, all infected, and they'd been in the hospital 3 weeks, finally got to heal, but it healed from the outside in. When healing, you want to feel from the inside out. So
Mhm.
as soon as he stepped out, within 2 days, it ruptured again. Came to my office. We had to put him in the farthest room away because the rotting smell of flesh was
Oh,
terrible. So, but I detoxed him daily for a month, and he was fine.
wow.
Nice.
That's
So
amazing.
Awesome.
You've helped so many people. Just the sheer numbers are very telling on how many people you've helped and the goodness that you're doing in the world, because it's a toxic soup out there.
I know. I'm gonna go detox right now.
Yeah, we're gonna get her in the foot bath right
Yep.
now.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Doc.
And thank you to our listeners. If you like this, like the podcast and share it.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. And if you want to support our show, give us a 5-star rating.
To learn more about our practice, visit athelivingtree.com.